Buju. I'm Dan. I'm from Norwegian and Swedish heritage, the Johnson and Huber families. Born in Madison, Wisconsin. My name Daniel means judged by God in Hebrew. We learned this in the first lecture that this gave people context about where another person had come from. And in some ways, it opens up people's understandings about the voice speaking those specific words, just as we cite sources and watch for biases in our own writing. This showed us the importance of context when meeting someone or hearing their message. In my studies, I looked into pejorative words, which are negative terms or a word that would be used in the form of a put-down. One of the main articles I read was called Sexist Words, Speciesist Roots, and it focused on how animal terms are often used to degrade women. Terms such as chick, fox, vixen, foxy, etc. This is similar to what was shown to us in the Squaws and Princesses lecture, where it was discussed that early European settlers used animal terms to dehumanize the natives of the land. Now, considering that some people and cultures do have reverence for the animal world, using an animal term to describe a person doesn't have to be negative in itself. But as with anything, misconceptions happen, especially when two people don't have any background on one another's history or culture. In Kim Anderson's book, she spoke about context and how there isn't universality in people's actions just because they belong to a certain heritage, as did Lenita Jacobs Huey, an anthropologist who also thought describing one's background was helpful in determining bias. In her article, she talked about how, when interviewing others about their culture, it's not only important to just know their language, but also how they use it, and what nonverbal communication they use. It is through being friendly and eager to respectfully understand another person, rather than being scientific and attempting to study a person, that allows the most clear and truthful communication. When these animal terms are used today, the whole Western culture of superiority over non-humans is illuminated by the weight these animal pejoratives carry, just as their usage by European settlers carried the weight of the intent to dehumanize. Though, just how I said earlier that not everyone is offended by being referred to as an animal, the same goes for people often not knowing that the animal terms offend others. Once a pejorative word has passed through a few generations, those who use it begin to lose sight of its original intentions. It's through this need to know one another's background to truly understand the messages that we are trying to communicate that arises the need for reflexive anthropology, or looking inward at one's own biases and conducting study. The author of Sexist Words, Speciesist Roots said in the article, oppression does not require the awareness or cooperation of its victims. In discussion with the people we are trying to communicate with, or in terms of writing papers or conducting studies, the people we are trying to communicate for, we find these oppressions brought to one another's awareness, and in doing so further bridge gaps of misunderstandings between cultures and our previous histories with them.